Hello and welcome to the SAP Financials and Controlling course offered by SAPTrainingHQ.com. I am Peter Moxon and I will be your tutor throughout this complete course. Now this course has been created for anyone who wants to understand financials and controlling in SAP. Specifically, the course targets the following audience: graduates who have a basic understanding of finance and financial terminology and want to understand SAP FICO, and SAP consultants with technical knowledge of how SAP works, along with those consultants who need to learn the fundamentals in order to work with the SAP financial modules. As a prerequisite to this course, you should already have an understanding of some of the basics of finance and know some financial terminology, and also be able to use the SAP GUI, the graphical user interface which is used to control SAP. Now let's take a look at the structure of this course in detail. This financial accounting overview course is divided into 5 major sections. Section 1 consists of 2 parts and gives an overview of the general financial accounting terms. Section 2 also consists of 2 parts, and you will get to understand the basics of SAP financial accounting. In Section 3, you will learn about the important general ledger features. In Section 4, you will be introduced to subledgers, accounts receivables, accounts payable, and asset accounting. And the last section, Section 5, consists of 2 parts in which you will learn how financial accounting integrates with other SAP modules. Let's have a look at our course objectives. Now, after completing this course, you will be able to recognize the organizational elements of R3. You'll be able to describe the basic settings, classify and reconcile R3 documents with the original documents, open and close posting periods, and assign posting authorizations to users. You will also be able to identify important general ledger features. You'll be able to identify the characteristics of subledgers, accounts receivables, accounts payable, and asset accounting. You will also be able to identify the organizational structures of cost accounting, such as controlling areas, country-specific chart of accounts, and controlling objects, and recognize how financial accounting is integrated with the other SAP modules such as Materials Management and Sales and Distribution. Let's now move on and begin with the first part of the first section of this course. So let's focus on the general financial accounting terms. In part 1 of this general financial accounting terms section, you will learn about the organizational units of R3, company code, and country templates. So first of all, let's have a look at the organizational elements of R3. Now, in an SAP application, organizational units form the basis of an enterprise structure. An organizational unit handles a specific business function. And as you can see on this slide, in the SAP R3 hierarchy, the client is regarded as the highest level element for all organizational units. And a client may represent an enterprise with several subsidiaries. The next level down shows the smallest organizational element for which a complete self-contained set of accounts can be drawn up in R3, and that's the company code. The third level of the hierarchy shows the business segments or branches in which the group operates, and can be set up in the R3 system as business areas. Setting up of a business area in the application is, however, optional. Each of these elements is going to be covered in a little more detail in the next few slides. So now let's focus on the client. Specifications or data that is valid for all organizational units in MySAP ERP applications are entered at the client level. This data need not be entered at any other level again. Each client acts as an independent unit which separates master data records and a complete set of tables and data. The system has a table that holds the client-specific data, and when the client data is first created, you have to specify a client key. That identifies a specific client. As an example, we have client 0, we have client 001, we can have client 066 and so on. From a commercial point of view, the client is a corporate group, and you must specify a client key and have user master records in the client in order to log into the system itself. And as you can see, a client is identified via a 3-character code. Let's continue on to the next level of the hierarchy, the company code elements. The company code is a financial accounting unit. It represents an independent balancing or legal accounting entity. An example would be a company with independent accounts within a corporate group. Financial statements required by law can be created at this company code level, and every organization for which a financial statement and profit and loss statement is to be created must be stored as a company code in the SAP system. Thus, the company code is the organizational unit that helps to structure an enterprise from a financial accounting perspective. Financial statements required by law can be created at company code level, as discussed before, and a company code is the minimum structure necessary in MySAP ERP financials. MySAP ERP is in the SAP Business Suite software, the name for the modules comprising the former SAP R3. These include accounts payable, accounts receivable, accounting, and financial reporting. For international businesses where operations are scattered across countries, a separate company code is created per country, and a company code has a unique 4-character key. Now let's move on and have a look at the business areas element. Now, business areas are set up for separate areas of operation within an organization. They can be used across company codes, and they are balancing entities that can create their own set of financial statements for internal purposes. It is possible to save and evaluate transactional figures for each business area. In the last few slides, you learned about the different organizational elements, and the company code was one such element. In the next slides, we're going to dig a little bit deeper and understand how we create a company code. So how is a company code created? Well, the easiest way to create a company code is to copy an existing company code using the organizational copy function. This copies the definition, global parameters, customizing tables, about 315, general ledger accounts, and account determination. In this way, one can copy the existing company code's specific parameters and then edit the required data in the new company code that we've created. So we start with selecting a 4-character alphanumeric key as the company code key. And this key identifies the company code and must be entered later when posting business transactions and creating company code specific data. Note, you can also define company codes and fill the customizing tables from scratch if you wish. This can be done by only copying the clients from client 0 after all the required languages have been imported into client 0. Next, let's have a look at the country templates. In the R3 standard system, company code 1000 is a template for a general company code with chart of accounts INT, and this has no specific country specification. We use it just as a template. If company code is needed in a country for which a country template exists, the country version program can be used. It copies the country-specific customizing tables from the specific country template into the company code 1000 and once a copying is completed, company code 1000 will be customized for the selected country. This company code can then be copied into the new desired company code. The country version program will have to be started again to create a template for another country, and so on. Note, the country version program not only creates a country-specific company code template, but also a country-specific template for controlling areas, plants, purchasing organizations, sales organizations, credit control areas, financial management areas, and so on. So let's dig a little bit deeper and learn some more about these country templates. The implementation guide, also known as IMG, suggests the following order for creating a company code. First we have to copy, delete, then check the company code, and then edit the company code data. Now pay specific attention. Do not forget to copy the template before you proceed any further. Do not use company code 1000 as your productive company code because the country version program always uses this company code as the target company code. Furthermore, you should run the country version program only in a new installation of R3 and not in an upgrade installation because the structure of the country-specific customizing may have changed from one release of R3 to the next. Let's take a look at editing the company code next. Once a company code is created, it can be edited in order to customize it for the selected country. The following information is required whilst we're editing a company code. First is the 4-digit company code key, followed by the address data for correspondence, which is also recorded on evaluation reports, and third, the currency for the specific country code. Accounts are managed in the company code currency, and all other currencies are indicated as foreign. The system converts the amounts posted in a foreign currency into this currency. The currency defined in the company code is known as the local currency within an R3 system, and is used globally throughout nearly all modules. Next is the country key. We have to specify the home country. The system interprets all other countries as foreign. This is important for business or payment transactions, since different forms are needed for foreign payment transactions and the system supports different formats for addresses for foreign correspondence. The city key specifying the city and the language key specifying the language of the home country also needs to be specified. This ensures that the system can create text automatically in the correct language, for example, during issuing of checks. Apart from these, the global parameters that need to be taken into account while editing a company code are chart of accounts, the fiscal year, and company code defaults. And as mentioned earlier, now let's move on and take a look at the second part of the general financial accounting term section.